This way, if you're trying to get into sports, don't go to raves.
Leave it alone.
Now let me say this though, okay? I never made raves for people to get themselves all fucked up at. Excuse my language. It was one of those things that I was a kid with a dream of taking over the world through EDM. Okay? I never thought that it was going to come down. In 2008, I almost got arrested by the FBI because they thought I was a drug dealer. Because one of my business partners was running drugs through the event, and I didn't know about it. And luckily, because I was in Vegas, and Vegas is actually an unincorporated part of Clark County, so if you own the hotel, you own the land it sits on. That's why they have to have security, so they couldn't arrest me. But other than that, I would have been arrested. And all I really did, to answer your question, is I booked talent. Basically, I represent people, and I book talent. Now, granted, why I got into raves, why I created my own raves, because as I said, a lot of people come up to you and tell you you can't do things. And a lot of people were like, Randall, no one wants to book that electro stuff. That hard shit ain't coming here. So I made a rave called Hard. All the hard shit. And yeah, you know, my constituents and my colleagues were like, you're like, dude, you're just violating all sorts of like ancient client relationships. But hey, you know what? If no one's going to book my people, then what the hell? You know? And yeah, you know, my whole life I've battled, this guy shouldn't be here. This guy, even right now, like on Wall Street, this guy's 27. What the hell is he doing here? He has no business experience. He's in entertainment. Entertainment's not a business. For the people at Wall Street, it's not a business because it's not hundreds of millions of dollars like pharmaceuticals. So entertainment is a speck on the map, but on Wall Street, it's nothing. It's the worst investment you can make, entertainment. Unless you're investing in Netflix, then it's the best investment you can make. Because Netflix grows hand over fist. I think 3 weeks I made like 30, 40 grand with 100 grand. If you guys want money, stocks is the way to go.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of technicals, and it's you have to understand the way society works in order to be a good stockbroker. That's the key.
What does that mean exactly?
Well, the thing about stocks, for example, when stocks go down, real estate goes up. So it's a lot of, more than society, it's economics. It's understanding the way economics work. Because of the fact that if you can understand economics, you'll never be broke. Because you know where to put the smart money into. Like Netflix right now. One of Netflix's biggest problems, this is inside information just so you know. But one of Netflix's biggest problems is that they go through so much money that if they continue to go through the rate of cash burn that they're going through right now, they're going to be out of money in a month and a half. Why? Because content licensing.
What's content licensing?
That means that the studios, for example, that if you want to put a movie on Netflix, Netflix has to buy the rights from the studio to put the money on put the movie on Netflix. So Reed Hastings, who's the owner of Netflix, he's really wishy-washy because he's convinced people that, you know what, we got to make our own content. Screw everyone else, which is what they're on right now. But the problem is that they need a combination of both to survive. And the situation here is that the studios have realized Netflix needs to go because NBC owns Hulu.
Yeah, so Hulu just started.
Right, so the thing about it is the studios have come together and realized Netflix needs to go because we got Hulu. So what's going on is that they're raising the prices on their content. And that's why like a lot of Netflix people will tell you, you know what, Netflix has horrible movies.
Yeah.
Nobody watches that crap. The reason why though is because content licensing. Because of the fact that they're in a tough spot. And that's why they need that constant cash influction, which was going on with Snapchat right now too, because they just did their IPO as well. So Snapchat has never made $1 in their whole day of existence. Like ever since they've existed, they have been a company that has lost money consistently. They're what we call a unicorn. Basically a fictional animal that'll never fly.
Wow.
Go ahead.
for these kids, 'cause I wish I had it when I was younger. What are some sources they can go to learn about IPOs, private and public things of that nature?
Investopedia.
For kid, for
Yeah, because they have videos that are really easy to understand.
Was that called?
Investopedia. Right.
What does IPO stand for?
Initial public offering. So, let me put it to you this way. You can make a business and think small, or you can make a business like me and think big. Okay? So here's the thing. I ain't gonna make a business and use my own money. I'm not that stupid. That's what an IPO is. That's what a public company is basically getting the public. It's kind of like crowdsourcing, like Kickstarter. You guys heard of Kickstarter, I'm sure, right? Yeah, so it's kind of like Kickstarter, but in a much more regulated. It's like legal gambling, is what it is.
Okay, so question.
Yeah.
So you think that's why Snapchat opens up?
And crashed because
stuff?
everyone,
Yeah.
because everyone knows that it was stupid.
Wow.
So we can restart it.
And what is it, Evan Spangler, the owner of Snap, he's an idiot.
Yeah.
He's a dumbass. But
Now, when a company goes or is about to go public, they go to a bank to get the underwriters
right.
before it goes public, and they do their thing. I know the underwriters initially reach out to their money people to say, hey, this is about to go public or what have you. But sometimes companies, before they go public, they keep kind of going to the secret society of their contacts before it does. What are some things that a kid in the inner city could do to get this knowledge of when something's about to go public? Because everybody keeps talking about the gap in lower class and upper class. You said stocks is one of the ways to diminish the gap.
I'm going to give you guys a really good piece of advice because I've learned this the hard way. Sometimes to go forward, you got to take 2 steps back. You got to look at the situation with a cool, calm, and collected. So in other words, let me put it to you this way. When you're out of money, don't think about like, shit, I need to get money right now. Because you'll do stupid shit. You got to think long term. And I'll tell you this, about 4 or 5 years ago, Wes and I, Diplo and I, we were sitting with each other going, why is it that we make like $5 million, but we also spend $5 million? So we make no money. You know, and you want to hear something funny? We swallowed our pride and we went down to the community college in Irvine and we took accounting classes. And we figured it out. And we got really good at it. And JP Morgan now basically is who we work with, which is a huge bank. Not Chase, but JP Morgan, who owns Chase.
No.
Who? I do?
Laughing, bro. That's
I can care. I mean, I manage people's money.
You heard about him before?
But yeah, I mean, as I said, like, it's one of those things that if you guys want to learn finance, finance is the one skill, honestly, that'll set you up. It's kind of messed up, but it's really true because the thing about it that those finance people, they will consume you. Let me say this. At JP Morgan, we actually have something called the fraud triangle, which actually determines if we're going to give you money. And a large part of that depends on how much money do you have right now. Who are your friends? How much money do you spend? Because here's the thing. You should have enough money to cover your ass. If not, you're going to be taking my money to cover your ass. Exactly. There is a system and a mathematical equation for everything in life and finance. It's crazy. But you know, when you think about like, I'm sure you guys are going to get to that point where, why can't I get finance for a car? Why can't I get a credit card? It's risk assessment. It's not just your credit score, but it's risk assessment. A lot of it is how you set up your life. That was my problem, was that on paper, I never put anything on paper. I always ran fast and I have money, don't need a credit card, pay it cash. You know? But now that I'm married, you know, like we gotta buy a home, you know, we gotta do that type of stuff. And, you know, it's not that difficult, but it is slightly more difficult, shall we say, than it would have been if I would have started the right way instead of my focus being 100% on raves. So it's definitely one of those things that you definitely do need to think about your future. And another really good piece of advice, just because you have a credit card, don't blow it. Especially if you have your first credit card, because you all are probably going to get your first credit cards here pretty soon. If you blow it, you ain't getting another one for a really long time. Yeah, pretty much. So it's really important to know how to manage your money, set yourself up for the future, plan. You know? And, you know, it's been said before, but knowledge is power. You, by failing to inform yourselves, the only person that's doing a disservice to you is you. Because the knowledge is out there. It's just a matter of, do you want to find it? You know? But even, like I said, stocks, finance, it's all research. It's all, you know, talking to people, relationships. You know, so do you guys know what insider trading is at all? No?
Yeah.
You know what insider trading is? Well, for you guys, insider trading is basically, so in stocks, you have public information. So Apple, for example, this is a funny one. Apple never releases how many iPhones they legitimately sell. They just keep telling you, we sold out. But here's the funny thing. If you only have 5 phones, of course you're going to fucking sell out.
Right.
But legally, though, you know this? Legally, Apple cannot sell you a phone that does not exist. Because they have to have the IMEI number. So here's the thing. Your phone's in existence. What is an IMEI number?
Yeah.
Access code for the network. So every device has an IMEI number. So if somebody wanted to hack your phone, they don't do it through your phone number. They do it through your IMEI number. So basically, Apple knows exactly what they're doing. It's just they control supplies so they can go back to their investors. Yeah, dude, we sold out. It's all sold out. But yeah, you only made 5. The rest are sitting in a warehouse somewhere. And they control that supply in order to make their investors believe that, yeah, we're super successful. Here's a sad truth about business, okay, guys? The era of the consumer comes first is long gone. It's the investor that comes first. Because the day the investor takes their money out of Apple, Apple is screwed. Apple won't have, well, Apple might, but many companies won't even have the money to keep the lights on. So, when it comes to prioritizing who exactly we need to put first, it's going to